Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Nicole and this is Let Knit Bead Sew. Today's video is a big old roundup of everything that I have sewn throughout the months of April and May. Apparently tops was was unexpectedly the theme of this past couple of months worth of sewing, because there's literally all tops apart from one item, and that has a matching top that goes with it. So yes, very much the time of the tops, but definitely much needed in my wardrobe, particularly non t-shirt tops. So I've very much been focusing on filling some gaps in my wardrobe. So let's crack on, shall we, with everything that I've made. I will be trying my best to put in both some pictures and hopefully some like video clips of me wearing stuff, just so you can get a better idea, because obviously it's not super easy to show you something on camera while sitting down. So the best possible representation of stuff is it being worn by an actual human person. So hopefully I will have done okay in that respect. So to kick things off, this feels like ages ago that I made this, but yeah, it was only in April. But yeah, kicking things off, we have this Fleur blouse. So the Fleur is a pattern by Fabric Godmother, and it's a woven pattern. And I do apologise, I feel like this has not had the best iron. I wore it the other week to do a presentation at work, but yeah, it's yeah, it probably could have been ironed better since it's been in the wash. But yeah, so you can see I've got my ties on the front. The Fleur's top version has got this peplum on it, and then you've got these sort of like elbow, yeah, they're basically elbow length sleeves. And the fabric that I have made it in is also from Fabric Godmother. So this was fabric that I got in a remnant sale from them. So I actually had two separate pieces of fabric, both kind of just under a meter each. I think I roughly had probably in total about 1.5 meters of this. Yeah, so it's viscose linen blend, and yeah, it's got this, yes, this like sort of chambray, pale chambray blue background, and very cute strawberries on it. And definitely this is going to get wear across the spring and summer months. The label keeps sticking up. I might need to sew that down a bit better. So I've got a little rosy cheeks label in there. It says made, I think it says by my hands. Yeah. So yeah, got a label in there as well. For reference, I have made the size 12 in the Fleur pattern, and I find that that's kind of just enough. Like it is sort of meant to be a bit somewhere between fitted and like a teeny bit oversized, and you know, probably I could size down, but I think then I might find it a bit restrictive in like the arms and stuff. So I'm happy with the fit of this, yeah, the size 12 in this pattern. It's the only Fabric Godmother pattern that I have made, so I don't have any other reference point to, you know, that's my typical size for their patterns. But yeah, very happy with this. Yeah, I feel like it's very, very spring summery, and I'm definitely expecting to get plenty more wear out of it over the next few months, and you know, potentially into September as well, because you know, it isn't super short sleeved, and this fabric is, you know, it's got a reasonable weight to it, being like a linen blend. So yeah, that is make number 1, which is, yeah, the Fabric Godmother Fleur blouse. Okay, make number 2 is another top, another blouse, and this one is the True Bias Roscoe Blouse, which is quite an old pattern of theirs. It's been around a fair old while, but yeah, and I had it for ages but hadn't made it. And then when I received, this was from the Illuminati Makers Club, the very first box, and yeah, got this beautiful viscose with this leaf print on. I knew that, yeah, I wanted to make something that, you know, there wasn't a lot of seam lines. I just wanted the fabric to be able to shine because it's so lovely. So that's why I picked the Roscoe. So you've got raglan sleeves, which you probably, yeah, you can just about see if I hold it in there. And then you've got this like V cut out with like the tie detail, and then everything is like gathered in, you know, all around here. You've got all of the gathering into the neckline around the back as well, and then you've got these sort of mid-length sleeves again gathered in to a cuff. And it's quite a long blouse. Yeah, it's quite, you know, generous, loose fitting. You know, it's a very, you know, easy breezy kind of top to put on, but also maybe, you know, I think, you know, sewing it in a fancy fabric like this makes you feel a little bit more put together. And obviously you could sew it in a whole range of other fabrics that are maybe a little bit more casual. And I've also got another label in here which says I sew for me. It's another little rosy cheeks label. And yeah, I'm super happy with this overall, in the sense that, you know, I think it was a great thing to use for the fabric itself. It definitely achieved what I wanted it to achieve. The only issue, and I haven't yet fixed it, but I will be doing, is these cuffs. Now, when I had like the pattern pieces out, I already thought those look awfully small. And yeah, having made this and put it on, yeah, they are, these cuffs, they are, for where the sleeves want to sit on me, they're just a little bit too tight to be comfortable, you know, wearing it for a longer period of time. I think if the sleeves, you know, I think it's probably just a disparity, because, you know, I feel like the body and the neckline fits exactly how I want it to. So I think it's probably either just like a disparity between the length of the sleeves and where they're intending it to hit, because I think probably it's hitting me maybe just a bit higher than it's meant to. Yeah, so in order to make this, you know, something that, like I say, is going to be comfortable to wear, you know, for a longer period of time and not feel like you're slowly losing the circulation to your hands, I've got two options really. I could either take this off and just put some elastic in here, you know, and fold it over and make a channel, and then have them be elasticated cuffs instead. That'll be very easy to do. I could also equally take it off and like cut a new cuff piece, so I could actually like put it on, see where the sleeves want to sit, and then like actually measure my arm at that point, and then cut a new cuff piece, because it is, you know, it's just a rectangle. So, you know, even my skills can draft a new rectangle. And yeah, make a new cuff that will, you know, still get that gathering effect, but it will be comfortable on my arm. So I haven't decided which I'm going to do yet. Probably, you know, the elastic would be the quicker one, so I may well do that, because, you know, I do want to get wearing that. But yeah, that's just going to be something that I have to bear in mind, and I definitely would make this again. You know, I think this is a great pattern for, yeah, those fabrics that have a print that you don't want to disrupt too much with lots of seam lines. So I definitely will make it again. But I think, yeah, then at that point I would, if I don't do the drafting again of a new cuff piece for this one, then I would definitely do it for future ones, just, yeah, to give me the fit I want and comfort. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think, yeah, yeah, it was a great use of the Lamazi Makers Club fabric. All right, blouse number 3, because yeah, like I say, it was all about the blouses and tops. So this is the Paulette Blouse, which was in the Fabric Godmother Dream Wardrobe box for, oh, was it April or was it May? I think it must have been April. So yeah, so the Paulette Blouse is a fibre mood pattern for a sort of princess themed blouse that has like this sort of grandpa style collar on it, and the sort of main feature of it is that you have these ruffles in the princess seams. I'm just going to lean back so you can see like the whole thing here. And the thing with the fabric that was provided in the Dream Wardrobe box is that you've got you had 2 different pieces of fabric. So you've got one with this flower print on a pretty large scale, and then you've got the same fabric, but the print on a much smaller scale. So you've got, yeah, the same print in 2 different sizes to combine together. And yeah, their recommendation was that you could use the smaller one for the ruffle, although because they only gave you a smaller part of that, you can actually see if I hold under there that I've double faced the ruffle, so you don't get that untidy edging look, that's made out of the main fabric. And yeah, and you can see I've got these buttons on here. These are something I've had for ages, and I don't remember where they're from, but they're like, they've got these little vine leaves on, so I thought it was, you know, a nod to the floral without like being too matchy. If I show you the back, so the ruffle actually goes all the way around, so you've got like a sort of yoke with the ruffle going onto the back. Yep, just a plain back on the front there. A plain back on the front, that makes no sense. And just a plain back, no seam details on that one. But yeah, you will notice that this is sleeveless, and originally this pattern has sleeves, so it has like what I would call sort of your standard like button up shirt kind of sleeves with like a, do they have a placket? I want to say they do, but they've got, you know, they've got that kind of split detail at least. Whether it's like a true placket, I don't remember because I obviously didn't make it. And yeah, basically I, you know, whenever I have a pattern that I'm contemplating making, I do like to, you know, have a look on Instagram, you know, search on the hashtags and see if I can find other people who have made it. And there were quite a lot of people who had, I think also Fibermood just have like a section on their website where if you Google the pattern, that you can see different people's versions. And there were quite a lot of people who had done this. And the thing I liked about it was because these ruffles, particularly at the shoulders, so the ruffle is like at its widest point essentially across the shoulders, like when people had made it as a sleeveless version, it kind of gives the illusion that there is sort of a sleeve anyway. It's just like a cap sleeve. So all I did, I haven't made any alterations. You know, I know there's plenty that people might do in terms of, you know, changing the armholes and things. But these are not particularly low, and it is a summer top. And again, you do have a bit of coverage from this as well. So all I have done is just bias bound the armholes from the sleeved version of the pattern with this like satiny bias binding to make it sleeveless. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. I think, yeah, not sure how many of the, I feel like when you have this kind of like statement pattern, I'm never sure like how many, you know, how many repetitions of it. I do like the fit on me, so I think I could also see potential for making it actually without the ruffle and just having the princess seam plain. That's definitely something you could do to just, you know, you definitely don't need to put the ruffle in there. So yeah, I think that's, you know, a way that I might use this pattern in the future. But yeah, that is my Fibermood Alright Godmother Dream Wardrobe box make. Let's break this up with like not a top. I mean, there is a top, but it's a top and trousers set. So let's have a you know, all top interlude. So I had wanted to make some summer pajamas in a lightweight cotton fabric, and I had picked up some double gauze from Pound Fabrics, and I chose to make the Peppermint magazine loungewear set, which I think has been around for quite a while. So it's a very oversized top and elasticated waist trousers. So here's my top. So this is I made this too early really. I should have saved it and then I could have entered this into Sew Fruity. But alas, I made this in May. So yeah, poor planning on my part there. But yeah, you can see this very, very oversized top with this. It's got a quite extreme high-low hem. This has just been washed as well. So, and I don't really want to iron double gauze and like lose that kind of crinkliness. So I haven't, but maybe I just need to very like hover the iron over it as opposed to like properly pressing. But you can see, yeah, you've just got these grown on sleeves that, yeah, it is like very, very simple. You know, there's only like a few pieces to this. Yeah, you got front, back, and the facing, and that's kind of it. So yeah, that's the top. And then all we have is the trousers. So you can see wide elasticated waistband, got pockets that are, yeah, fairly deep. I've certainly had shallower pockets in trousers that were meant for like going out of the house, so you know. And then yeah, they're kind of, they flare a tiny bit at the leg, and they're sort of kind of cropped-ish, so they're not full length like to the ground. But yeah, so these are the trousers. Like I say, probably easier for me to show you wearing them. I did mention this on my Friday Sews video this past week, that I found the construction of this weird, because you put in your pockets and then it has you folding down the top of the waistline to create either create a channel or just join the elastic straight onto it and fold it down. And then you end up, because you've got pockets, you end up with this weird situation that made it a bit of a faff. So I definitely want to use this pattern again. I've got some more double gauze that I want to sew up into another pair that's been kicking around for a while. But yeah, I might draft like a waistband type facing thing to avoid that. But that is going to change the length of them a little bit. But I don't know what I can do to avoid, yeah, this annoying faffy situation. But overall, I am happy with them. Yeah, they are filling that need that I need for them, which was, yeah, some lightweight summer PJs in yeah, this fun fruity fabric. We are back to just tops now. So I've got two more, and they're both the same pattern, which is the Friday Pattern Company Donny shirt, which I have been super late in hopping on the bandwagon for, but now I want to make loads of them, I think. So here we are. So this is the first one that I made. So this was a 1 meter length of viscose that I had kicking around in my stash for quite some time. That was from Rainbow Fabrics. So it's this white background. You can see if I lean back here with these, sort of abstract painted on shapes in various bold colours. So you see I've got my front here with my lovely open collar, and then the back with the gathering into the yoke, and these just standard short sleeves. You can see, yeah, again, it's got like a curved hem on this pattern, and yeah, I found this really easy to sew. As again I've mentioned on Friday Sews, but I'll mention it here again, obviously, in case you haven't seen that video. There's an adjustment that I'm going to make probably after filming this, and that is just to sew up the neckline here a little bit, because I find, for me personally, it is just a little bit too open, and whilst obviously there needs to be a relatively big gap here at the neck because there are no fastenings and you need to get it on and off over your head, I think I literally just want a centimetre of extra coverage. Like it's not a whole huge amount that I feel like it's gaping, but that's just something that I want to do. The other thing that I did again mention on Friday Sews was that it is definitely a cropped shirt. You know, it's squeezed out of 1 meter of fabric, so you know the compromise there, I think, is that it's not particularly long, and I find that it's just about okay on me. For reference, I am 5'3", so I'm not tall. I do have a longer torso though in proportion to the rest of my body, but yeah, definitely if you are on the taller side, I feel like, unless you are okay with midriff exposure, which you might be, I personally don't want that. But yeah, like I say, this is just about okay. But yeah, something to bear in mind, that it just is that kind of style of cropped shirt, and you would, if that's not your bag, then definitely think about adding some length. So this is my first one. And then the last make, oh no, it's not the last make. There was another one hiding under it. Yeah, but it is a top. So yeah, but this is my other Donny. So this was in some viscose from, I believe I got it from the Mazzy. I think it was 2 remnant pieces that were about, 0.7 of a meter, something like that, in this like turquoise floral. I've done everything exactly the same on this one as I did on the other one. I'll show you the back as well. Yeah, really fun. Again, I'm going to make the same adjustment on the front here. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, I will be just closing up the neckline just a little bit to make me feel a bit more comfortable. But yeah, super happy with the Donny. Definitely will be making more. Definitely want to play around with some different sleeve options, a little bit of hacking, maybe even make it into a dress. I've seen a hack for doing that. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential with this pattern. But yeah, those are my 2 Donnies. And the last make for April and May, which yeah had gotten buried in the pile, and because I didn't have it because I didn't have it on a hanger, my eyes missed it as I was going through stuff. So this is the Fibre Mood Arielle top. So this was the pattern that was included in the April, the Mazzy Makers luxury bag. So yeah, it's a Fibre Mood pattern, and yeah, so the fabric was all included as well in that bag. So it's this lovely, hopefully the there's a bit of an odd light situation I think now, but hopefully you can see the fabric is this checkerboard jacquard knit, I think it's a Mind the Maker fabric, in this lovely sort of periwinkle blue colour with some corresponding ribbing. So you've got the ribbing before the neckline and cuffs and a nice big hem of that as well. And the pattern, so the original pattern has you make these sleeves, which are kind of drop sleeves, as like a box pleat, but can I show you? Hopefully you can see from this weird angle that I'm trying, that I did the modification that Charlene did in her video for La Mazzy about making this pattern to invert the pleat, because I think, I don't know, I'm not a massive fan of box pleats, so yeah, I just thought it looked nicer, and yeah, I love this. I wore it the other day at work when it was a bit cooler, and still felt like summery, even though I had something that was a bit, a bit more substance to it on. Yeah, I was really happy with this, and I definitely will use this pattern again for a knit fabric. I think it's, I think it's a good, like, in the middle option. It's not, it's something extra compared to like a sweatshirt. I do have lots of, I do have several lindens and jarras, and I think this is just something a little bit different with the drop and the the big boxy, the big sort of oversized sleeve with the pleat detail, and yeah, I do love this colour. I think it's a good colour on me. But yeah, that is all of the things that I have made across April and May, except for a bag which I now don't have. That was a bestie bag, so I don't have that because it's gone to be my spare bag for when I'm at my parents' bag. So it's living in a drawer at their house now. So so yeah, a pretty productive couple of months. Like I say, tops was definitely something that I wanted to focus on, and I probably still will be doing quite a lot of top and blouse sewing over the coming months, but I definitely want to get in some more dresses and skirts coming up, and particularly to try and at least capitalize on some vague nice weather over the summer months. We're now obviously in June, so yeah, I would like to switch it up a little bit and try and get some more dresses and skirts in there. But yeah, that is everything that I've made. That is everything. Hopefully I'm gonna now get back to like a pattern of doing these actually once a month, so I don't have crazy long videos of loads and loads of things that have stacked up over the course of a couple of months. So yeah, hopefully the next one of these will be at the end of June. Okay, that's everything I have to share. I would love to hear if you have any thoughts about everything that I have made. What was your favourite piece? Have you made any of these patterns, or have I inspired you to try any of them that maybe you either hadn't heard of before or were on the fence? I know that both of the fibre mood patterns that I have made, I had never made a fibre mood pattern. Oh, that's a lie. I had made one. It hadn't turned out very well. But yeah, both of these fibre mood patterns I had not heard of before receiving them in various subscriptions. So yeah, they were new to me. So yeah, I would love to hear in the comments what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I would love it if you are not already subscribed. If you can subscribe, obviously it didn't cost you anything, but it does add to all of the things that YouTube takes into account in its magical algorithm to help share this video with the rest of the sewing community. I will be back very soon with another video, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.